Hello anime lovers, welcome to the Anime Mind channel. Today, we are starting a new series called Tomb Raider King, which looks very similar to Solo Leveling. So, let's dive into the story with episode 1. The story begins in a dungeon where we see several dead bodies. The only survivor is a man named Juhun, who is facing a massive, snake-like monster. The monster attacks Juhun. Juhun strikes back with his sword, but the blade gets stuck in the monster's fangs. The monster then slams its tail into Juhun, knocking him far away. Juhun tries to thrust his sword into the monster's mouth, but the blade snaps. The monster then grabs Juhun by the leg. Juhun manages to drive the broken sword into the monster's eye, but the beast chews off both his legs and slams him onto the ground. He had devoured both of Juhun's legs. Juhun screams that he cannot die like this. He curses a man named Kivan, asking how he could do this to him. A flashback reveals that Kivan had sent Juhun on this mission, promising a huge reward in return. But now, Juhun's teammates are dead. Death is staring him in the face, and he is left with nothing but a broken sword. Screaming, Juhun insists he cannot die this way. As the monster advances to devour him, Juhun, who is 38 years old, thinks to himself that perhaps this day is his. It is the final day. Suddenly, he hears a voice. My, how you scream. Juhun opens his eyes to see that the monster has frozen in place, as if time itself has stopped. The voice speaks again. Can you hear me? Juhun retorts, I've seen plenty of relics that can talk like you. Whoever you are, drive this snake away and let me go. The voice laughs and says, Do you really think you'll survive in that body? Half of it has been severed. Even if I drove the snake away, would you just crawl out of here? You're barely clinging to life, and you won't last much longer. You have so much potential, but you were born at the wrong time, and now you're about to die a meaningless death. Juhun snaps back. Shut up. You know nothing about me. Do you think I chose to live a life like this? Kivan, you bastard. I won't let you get away with this. The voice laughs again, remarking, Talent like yours shouldn't meet such a pathetic end. Just then, a four-eyed crow appears before Juhun and says, I'll give you a chance. Go and try to claim the throne of the true king. A massive explosion follows, and we see Juhun's legs fully restored. Juhun opens his eyes, wondering, which true king, and why did that crow want to help me? It must have been a god-tier relic. Just then, Juhun noticed that both his legs had healed and his other wounds had vanished. He found himself inside a police station. Beside him sat a boy with his mother, who kept yelling at Juhun. A police officer urged him, Come on, tell us about yourself quickly. What is your name? Juhun wondered if he was dreaming. The officer grumbled, Hurry up, we want to go home too. We have to work even on New Year's Day. Who knows how the rest of 2025 will turn out? Juhun was shocked to hear this and checked the calendar. It was indeed 2025. Yet 15 years had already passed since 2025. This meant Juhun had traveled 15 years back in time. That crow had sent him to the past. Meanwhile, the woman started shouting at Juhun again. Juhun recalled the incident. The woman's son had tried to pick a fight with him, so Juhun had pushed him away. The boy had then reported Juhun to the police. They had demanded a hefty fine, and Juhun had been forced to kneel and beg for forgiveness, as he had absolutely no money at the time. The woman began slapping Juhun, but he caught her hand. Shouting, he said, Your son started the fight, and you're demanding such an exorbitant fine? I've never seen a woman as greedy as you. The woman's son then lunged at Juhun, but Juhun effortlessly picked him up and slammed him to the ground. Juhun's body had become young again, yet he retained all his fighting skills and memories. However, because he had beaten the boy right in front of the police, he was thrown into jail. The woman shouted, Now your name will definitely end up on a criminal record. Your life is ruined. Juhun reasoned that a criminal record wouldn't matter. Once the relics entered this world, the old rules and laws would cease to apply. Back in 2025, a massive earthquake had shaken the globe, revealing mysterious tombs everywhere. These tombs housed magical relics, artifacts imbued with supernatural powers, and anyone who discovered one would gain those abilities. People across the world began scouring the land for them. Juhun was fortunate enough to find an archaeologist relic. He had gathered extensive information about the tombs and relics, believing that this discovery would transform his life. However, private companies eventually took control of the tombs and barred others from entering so they could hoard the relics for themselves. It started with the TKBM company, chaired by Kuan. When Kuan learned of Juhun's ability, he recruited him, and Juhun began doing all his dirty work: smuggling, theft, and raiding tombs, even those controlled by the government. This made Kuan incredibly wealthy. One day, Juhun overheard people discussing how he worked for such a scumbag, wondering if he would still choose this wretched line of work if he were reborn. Juhun reflected on how he had willingly become Kuan's lapdog, enduring every humiliation, only for Kuan to ultimately send him to his death. But now, Juhun had traveled back in time. He could fight again, though he would have to locate all his relics anew. Suddenly, a screen appeared before him. Juhun suspected the crow was behind it. A quest appeared, tasking him with detecting everything within a 1-meter radius. His current rank was F, as if his life had turned into a game. He received another quest, to unlock 4 specific skills and become a tomb raider. Just then, a police officer asked him to lower his voice. It turned out the screen was visible only to Juhun. He noticed he could easily perceive everything within that 1-meter radius, a power derived from an archaeologist relic. This meant that despite traveling back in time, he retained his powers and could unlock them once more. If this is one ability, then what would the other 3 be? Juhun cannot figure out the crow's motive, as relics do not typically help humans. Just then, a man named Detective Kim arranges for Juhun's release. Juhun had been staying at an orphanage, and Kim was the one who looked after him. Juhun asks Kim if any strange events have occurred recently, such as people suddenly gaining superpowers. Kim asks if he is all right, noting that superpowers aren't real. Hearing this, Juhun realizes that relics have not yet arrived in this world. Kim bids Juhun farewell and heads home. Juhun thinks to himself that the relics are bound to arrive soon and he needs to be prepared. But the problem is money. Since the first relics were discovered in Europe and America, Juhun would need to fly there. Suddenly, a few thugs confront him. Seeing them, Juhun thinks that solves the money problem. Facing him was a man named Park, a local thug who ran a shop with his sister, Kyuju. Juhun used to work part-time for them. He was treated like a dog and frequently beaten. When a man approached to beat him up, Juhun knocked him to the ground with a single punch. Juhun told them to inform their boss that he had quit the job and demanded his outstanding pay, including interest. Hearing this, Park lunged at Juhun, only to be soundly beaten himself. 3 other guys then attacked Juhun simultaneously, but he easily thrashed them all. After all, he had 15 years of combat experience, even if his body was currently a bit weak. Park then pulled out a dagger, and Juhun instantly recognized it as a relic. It turned out that some relics had already emerged from their dungeons and were hiding among humans. Park moved to attack Juhun, but Juhun thought to himself, no matter where this relic came from, it's mine now. And that's where the episode ends. So, friends, what did you think of this new solo leveling series? I didn't find the first episode particularly impressive. If you'd like me to explain the second episode as well, please type yes in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, please like and share it. And if you're new to our channel, Anime Mind, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon. I'll see you very soon in the next video. Thanks.